You know, we like to think of history as a settled story, right? A collection of facts that we've all figured out. But what about the blank pages? The events that are so strange, so baffling, that even today, nobody has a real explanation.
I mean, we're talking about cases where people literally seem to have vanished from the face of the earth, leaving behind, well, just a ton of questions.
Or how about codes and texts that have stumped the world's greatest minds for hundreds of years, with secrets that are just locked away in some kind of unknown language?
And it gets bigger. Entire societies that were at the very height of their power, and then they just disappeared. So in this explainer, we're going to peel back the pages of history and look at some of its most disturbing and enduring mysteries.
Okay, our first case takes us way back to the coast of North America in the late 1500s. It's a ghost story that has haunted American history right from the very beginning, the lost colony of Roanoke.
So picture this. Over 100 men, women, and children set up a new home. Their governor, a guy named John White, sails back to England for more supplies. But a war breaks out, and it delays his return for 3 long years. When he finally makes it back, the settlement is completely empty. No people, no bodies, not even a sign of a fight. It's like they were never even there.
The only clue they found, this single cryptic word carved into a wooden post, Croatoan. So was it a message? A warning? Croatoan was the name of a nearby island and a local indigenous tribe. But here's the thing. If they had planned to move, they were supposed to carve a Maltese cross, and that was nowhere to be found.
And here's where it gets tricky, because none of the theories totally add up. Okay, maybe they joined a local tribe. That seems possible, but why not leave a clear message? What about an attack? Well, archaeologists haven't found any signs of a battle. Famine or disease? You'd think you'd find graves, right? The bottom line is, over 100 people don't just vanish, or do they?
From a people who vanished to, well, an explanation that vanished. Our next mystery takes us to one of the most remote places on Earth, Easter Island, also known as Rapa Nui, way out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
The island is famous for its nearly 900 massive stone statues, called moai. And listen, these aren't small carvings. Some of them are over 30 feet tall and weigh up to 80 tons. That's about the weight of a space shuttle.
Which brings us to the big question. The ancient Rapa Nui people carved these giants out of a single quarry and then somehow moved them up to 11 miles across rugged, hilly land. So how in the world did they do it without wheels, cranes, or any large animals?
Now, the log roller theory is pretty popular, but that would have needed a crazy amount of wood on an island that didn't have many trees. Some recent experiments suggest they could have been walked upright, using teams of people with ropes to kind of rock them side to side, inching them forward. But honestly, no single theory has been proven, and the exact method is still one of history's greatest engineering puzzles.
All right, now for a mystery that feels like it's straight out of a Cold War spy movie. We're heading to Somerton Beach in Australia, back in December of 1948.
A well-dressed man is found dead, just slumped against a seawall. He has no ID, and get this, all the tags had been cut out of his clothing. There were no signs of violence. But the police found something really odd. A secret little pocket sewn into his trousers, and inside was a tiny, rolled-up piece of paper.
The paper had just 2 words on it, tamam shud. It's a Persian phrase that means it is ended, or the end, and it was torn from the last page of a rare book of poetry. The police eventually found the exact book it came from, and inside that book, they found what looked like an unbreakable secret code.
So who was this guy? Was he a spy, passing one last coded message before he was taken out? Or was it some kind of elaborate, tragic suicide? Here's what's truly unsettling. Even with a massive international investigation, to this day, no one has identified him, no one ever claimed his body. It's like the Somerton man never existed at all.
From one man who disappeared, we're now moving to an entire squadron. This next mystery became one of the biggest legends of the 20th century. It's December 5th, 1945. 5 U.S. Navy bombers, call sign Flight 19, take off from Florida for a routine training mission over the Atlantic. They never came back.
What makes this case so incredibly bizarre are the radio transmissions they picked up. The flight leader, an experienced pilot, reported that both of his compasses were broken. He sounded completely lost, saying things like, "Everything is wrong, strange, we can't be sure of any direction." And then, just silence.
And this is where the story gets even darker. The Navy immediately sent a search and rescue plane to find them.
But that plane, a Martin Mariner with 13 crewmen on board, also vanished without a trace. So in total, that's 6 aircraft and 27 men, all gone. No wreckage, no bodies, no oil slicks, nothing was ever found.
Okay, from a vanishing act in the sky to a mystery on the page, I want to introduce you to a book that's been called the world's most mysterious manuscript. It's named after the guy who rediscovered it back in 1912, the Voynich manuscript.
This book has been carbon dated all the way back to the early 1400s, and it's written in a language or a code that is completely unknown to us. It is filled with drawings of plants that don't match any known species, bizarre astronomical charts, and these weird diagrams. But the craziest part? The world's best code breakers from World War I and II, right up to modern cryptographers using supercomputers, have all failed to crack it. So what is this thing? Is it some lost language we've never seen before? A cipher that's just so complex we can't figure it out? Or could it all be just a brilliant, centuries-old hoax? After more than 600 years, the Voynich manuscript is still completely, totally unreadable.
All right, for our final mystery, we're not just looking at a few lost people. We're talking about the collapse of one of the ancient world's most incredible civilizations, the Maya. They dominated Mesoamerica for centuries. They were famous for their advanced writing, math, and astronomy. But then, around 900 AD, something went terribly wrong.
Their huge stone cities in the southern lowlands, places like Tikal, were just abandoned. And really quickly, too. Within a couple of generations, the population just plummeted. So what happened? Well, the leading theories point to a perfect storm of disasters. Really intense, long droughts that would have ruined their crops, constant warfare breaking out between city-states, and a total breakdown of their society. But no single reason really explains how fast and how widespread the collapse was.
So from a lost colony to a vanished flight, from an unreadable book to an abandoned civilization, all these cases have something in common. They're the empty spaces in our history books, right? The questions that don't have answers. And they're a powerful reminder that for all our knowledge and technology, there are still some secrets out there we just can't explain.
So as we wrap this up, I have to ask you, from Roanoke to the Maya, which of these mysteries really gets under your skin? Which one makes you question what we think we know about the past? Give it some thought, because sometimes the greatest stories in history are the ones that don't have an ending.